Be cool, be kind, be classy. The cupcakes are sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Or just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. Not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade. Sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. Is a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Sack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish and Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Maleigha. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Proceed, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcakes are sweet and sassy. Not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Today's Thursday, April 30th, 2026. It's the last day of April. Where did it go? Where do all the months go? I don't know. I feel like the older I get, the faster time goes. I don't like it. And it's cold and rainy here today. I don't like that either. Take me to work day. So I hope I'm at work with you today. I have so many things to talk about, and yet I don't know what I want to talk about. So we'll see. People are in it this morning like, what are we talking about? Does it matter? Does it matter? I'm keeping you company while you're at work. Does it matter what we talk about? Yeah. Take me to work day. Tuesday. Today's Thursday, right? Yeah. Tuesday was exhausting. Tuesday was an exhausting day. We sat in family court. Well, we didn't sit in family court, but we waited in family court for hours and hours and hours for Kelsey Fitzsimmons' hearing to start. So many of you sent me emails yesterday like, there's an order coming. It was never filed with the court as far as I know. But the judge from Monday did issue an order in Kelsey Fitzsimmons, a temporary order or an interim order. I'm going to check to see whether it's been docketed yet. And so we know that something was filed. It just never made it into the court system unless it was sealed, which I would suggest that everything is sealed going forward. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. I personally don't think that family court should be open to the public or televised. And I feel like it's enough. We're going to listen to some things that Kelsey said after court the other day to Justice Served, who I think was the only one there with a microphone to interview her. Kelsey had a couple things to say. She's had a couple of things to say on Facebook. And in many ways here, I think our work is done. I started covering Kelsey Fitzsimmons 11 days after her shooting. And it became a very personal case to me because I really felt like she was being railroaded by the North Andover PD. I felt like she was being railroaded by the judge, McCarthy Nyman. I thought that everything that was happening to her was so unfair. I thought that her mental health was used as a weapon against her. And I still think that's happening here. I think that Justin and his family were conspiring against her. And I still feel that way. But at this point, I feel like covering any more of this and covering anything further in depth is doing a disservice to the child. That's the way I feel. Like, if we're going to talk about the best interest of the child, I think I've done what I set out to do, and that was to raise awareness to Kelsey's situation, to put her story out there, to get people outraged by it, and to get people to feel something again, the way that they did for Karen Reed, to feel like you could get out there and help somebody that you didn't even know, and how much your support would mean, and how much your support meant by sending Kelsey letters when she was in jail and keeping her going. And how you guys are there. You're the boots on the ground. But for me, at this point, I don't think any further coverage of the personal details of all of their lives are going to do anything positive for the family. I think they need to start healing. I think that the two of them are going to need, Justin and Kelsey are going to need to work together, parenting this child for the next at least 18 years. And I don't think that any further airing of their dirty laundry and mudslinging is going to be productive in any way, shape, or form. So when I find out that there is some sort of order, we can talk about it if it's public. But family court's not public here in New York. We don't have cameras in New York anyway in courtrooms. It's allegedly discretionary, but they never allow cameras in courtrooms here. And I don't agree with that for certain high profile trials. I would have loved, if Rex Heuermann did not plead guilty, I would have been in court every day covering that trial. And because there are no cameras here, they just don't do it. Federal court, same way. They just don't do it. I don't even think that family court filings should be available to the public. It feels kind of too peeping Tomish for me right now. And I don't like feeling dirty like that. I just don't. So I hope you guys will respect my decision on that. And if you don't, I'm sure there'll be other people covering it, and you can find it somewhere else. However, I mean, that doesn't mean I don't support Kelsey and her fight. But I feel like the order that was issued yesterday at 10 a.m. 4:28. That was 2 days ago, where we covered the hearing. An order was issued. It's not been filed with the court. I mean, I hope that Julie Hess, I think she seems like a really level-headed attorney. And I think that she's really working in the best interest of the child. She didn't really come out and try and mudsling in court the other day. She didn't bring up all the videos about Justin smoking and all that stuff. And it's just it's just not productive at this point, Let me show you what Kelsey said after court, just so in case anybody comes in here asking that order Judge Karen Mitchell-Munivar issued yesterday has not been filed. And so if it is, I'll let you know what it says. I'm pretty sure the judge is going to at least temporarily grant some sort of visitation to Kelsey. And I think I'm really happy that she got to see her baby on Saturday of last week. And, baby steps is what it takes. Baby steps, Court needs to make sure that everyone is safe and that everything is done in the best interest of the child. And I don't think that, people going around disparaging the dad, it's just not, I don't know. To me, it's just not helpful. So let me show you the comments that Kelsey made after court. If I can find where I put them on Tuesday after the hearing. There we go. Shout out to Michael from Justice Served for being out there with the microphone. Okay. Yeah. If there's a lawsuit against North Andover, other stuff. Yeah, sure. Civil cases and stuff like that. But I don't think the family court stuff being public is helpful, because there's so many crazy people on the internet. Nobody needs to know where Kelsey lives. Nobody needs to know when the baby's going to be there. I just, I don't like it. So hang on one second. All right. I still don't have my voice back, but I'm going to try. Here's what Kelsey said after court on Tuesday, courtesy of Michael Bryant from Justice Serve TV. Let's see if we can hear it.
Outside waiting for them to kind of give me a shot to ask questions. Somebody said,
There's a little little girl. There's a little little girl.
they're not going to say anything. And I thought,
Somebody said what? Somebody said what?
hold on a second. Somebody said, let me turn that down real quick. Somebody said they're not going to talk. And so I thought to myself, challenge accepted. So here we go.
I'm the worst. Yeah.
And they just
So you see, there's Lauren. There's Tom.
It's good.
Here's Steve.
Diamond.
Right here's the Godfather. There's obviously Kelsey. And behind Steve is Julie Hess. So as they start to leave, as they start to leave.
Nothing, guys? We got nothing? Give me a thumbs up. Something.
I can say a few words.
I appreciate that. I mean, how do you feel? What's the takeaway?
It's a very delicate situation. And I think just moving forward, we would ask for privacy for the safety of my son, just because it's family court. However, we do appreciate all the support, and we are very grateful. Today was obviously a good day for me, and it's going to be a great Mother's Day. So
How was Saturday? How was that?
it was amazing.
Did you hear that? That's what Kelsey wants. She wants privacy for the safety of her son. I think we should give it to her. Let me take that back in case you didn't hear it.
Well, what's the takeaway?
It's a very delicate situation. And I think just moving forward, we would ask for privacy for the safety of my son, just because it's family court. However, we do appreciate all the support, and we are very grateful. Today was obviously a good day for me, and it's going to be a great Mother's Day. So
How was Saturday? How was that?
it was amazing. It was amazing.
Julie, anything about today's proceeding?
I think today went really well. I'm really happy, and I had no doubts that the judge would see and understand both sides, but also needed to see that mom and child needed to be reunited on some level. So I'm really looking forward to the orders that she issues, and I trust that they're going to be right on the mark.
Yeah. Sounds like Mother's Day's locked down. Got that pretty well ironed out.
I hope so.
Are you working then with the other side to get the details, or are you just waiting for the judge's word?
Both. As much as Kelsey and Justin can work together to start co-parenting, we are absolutely going to encourage every step of the way, and they're going to start doing that. They already started doing that. Right after this hearing, they had a little chat at the side. And I think that was really great to start their co-parenting efforts. So whatever they can work out, they can absolutely work out. But we also have to wait for the court's orders.
I just feel about the judge. And then she said, I'm not going to be on this case. I'm confused. Who's on this case?
We believe Judge Olwick is going to be coming back on the case for the pretrial and thereafter.
So how do you think today went? She seemed, and we saw 15 cases before you got up there. So you got a real sense of how she handled things. What was your take before you began? I think this was
Well,
going
I've
to
been in front of this judge several times. I've always thought she's well-reasoned, and she listens and she reads everything, which is what we call a hot bench. And so I like the fact that she reads everything, so she understands everyone before they even get up there. So I felt confident in what was going to happen today.
So what's the next likely step? What's going to happen?
Well, we have a pretrial conference. Like I said a minute ago, I think the parties are going to continue to try to work together and see what they can work out, and that's the best that we can hope for.
Yeah. Well, congrats.
And that's the best thing. And I tell you guys that all the time. It's always better in family court, divorce court, custody situations to try and work it out as best you can with your former partner, never partner, rather than let a judge decide your family's financial future and where your kids are going to live.
Congratulations. I think it was a great sign.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day, guys.
Thank you, you too.
only did this for Donnell.
Okay, so there's that. Kelsey also just started a Facebook page a couple of days ago. And she also started a Substack where she's sharing some of her writings and some of her diaries that are that she thinks she wrote about while she was in jail. And here is something she posted just 15 hours ago. I will not tolerate any hateful words towards anyone involved in my situation. That includes the father of my child. This page is dedicated to my healing process by sharing my personal journey, entries, and poetry as I navigate the trauma I have endured. Thank you for respecting my requests. And that's it. That's it. And then she said, everyone is allowed to have an opinion as I do myself, but please keep it off this page. Thank you very much. I mean, I don't think, already got 87 followers. So go on over there and follow her if you engage on the Facebook. And she's also started a Substack. And her Substack, I don't know if it's public. I don't know if you have to pay to read Substack, do you? I don't know. But there's a link to it right there so that you can go on over and read all of her writings. And I think that's great. Yeah. Jennifer Sim says she just wants her baby. All negative talk about his family hurts those chances. You're right. You are correct. Her writings are powerful. Did you guys read them? I haven't had time to read them. Lady Wag says her writings are powerful and well written. I mean, I think that she's gonna, she'll probably be an advocate for people that have been in her situation. And the best thing that we can do, or that we've already done it, was raise awareness. The judge ruled on the custody. The order has not been filed yet with the court. When and if it's made public, we'll talk about it. And then we'll move on to other things. And if she sues the town of North Andover or the North Andover PD, we'll cover that. Gigi jumped right in and gifted 5 memberships. Thank you, Gigi. As Karen DePasquale gifted 10 memberships. You guys are so nice this morning and generous. Thank you so much. Vicky says, good morning. I wiped my feet. Did you? Click the like button, please. Sorry, I'm late. Oh, your tardiness is excused. No worries. Thanks, Vicky, for your 5 and for all the lovely gifters this morning. And over 50s Swifty. Over 50 Swifty says, I'm disappointed that Melanie won't be covering Kelsey. I understand it, though. Family courts here in Michigan are private as well, as they should be. Well, don't be disappointed. I mean, that's what Kelsey's asking for. And so I'm going to honor her wishes. And I think that family matters should be kept as private as they can be, especially in a situation like this. They're not celebrities, So if there are other civil cases to come from this, if there are other criminal cases to come from this, I'll reevaluate. But I don't think that it should be on TV. I don't think the family court should be televised. I just don't. Goth Boy says, I'll be honest, I've been very uncomfortable seeing pictures of the kid online. I sweep past them immediately, especially as they're being posted by people unconnected to the family. Right. And people are nuts. Freeze Frame Pan Out says it's very much YouTube a la Jerry Springer court case coverage when it gets personal. I agree. It's none of the public business. Unfortunately, some folks like providing that kind of dramatic service. That's cool. I mean, that's, people cover what they want to cover. I don't tell people what to do. She's on Twitter as well, right? Yeah. It says New Hampshire woman. Thank you. Nick Indy 78 says, I'm not sure that Facebook is good for anyone's mental health. Have you seen Twitter? Even Mark Cuban came out yesterday or the day before and called cesspool a Twitter. I mean, Twitter a cesspool. He called Twitter a cesspool. Mark Cuban. I agree. I haven't been on Facebook in years. I have an old profile. I don't go on there because every time I go on there, it just makes me mad. And I find that scrolling through Facebook it makes me mad. Twitter is like the worst. And I like Instagram because I like, when Instagram started, it was pictures of sunsets and, pretty things, just looking at pictures. But I don't think social media in general, these platforms like even LinkedIn has become like drama ridden. I don't look at that either. I don't think it's good for our kids. I don't think it's good for adults. I don't consider YouTube to be social media because there's so many different things that you can find on YouTube. but just doom scrolling through Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, TikTok, whatever is not good for anybody. Listen, our kids who have been watching TikTok or scrolling TikTok for so long can't concentrate on anything for longer than 60 seconds. Am I right? Am I right? Well, the kids aren't even on Facebook though, Graham Tam. They're not on Facebook. The millennials and younger, I think. And it's okay. My camera just went off. I don't know what just happened, but stick with me. It looks like it anyway. I don't know. I think Streamer is having a lot of problems. And yeah, I'm not really a fan. So let's move on from that. I wish Kelsey all the best. And if we get a decision, I hope that the child will get to see mom more, and I hope that it will go on moving forward. Okay? That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, it just clicked off like for a minute, right? That's what I'm seeing. Lots of stuff. You guys sent me a lot of things to talk about. And so you've given me some really interesting cases that I hadn't heard about before. So we're going to look at some of them. We're going to say congratulations to the Bruins for pulling it off the other night. That was fantastic. They're going to play again tomorrow night. That was a really good game. So I can wear my hat. I can wear my new Bruins hat for a little while longer. That's exciting. And keep it coming with the ideas. I think that too. Tara Christine, I think you're right. Tara Christine says, my 20-something college kids say there's a new trend for some to get off social media. They recognize the voyeuristic nature of it and want to live their best lives off screen. Right. Or live their lives off screen. Not everybody needs to know where you are and what you're doing at all times. I think it's dangerous. Oh, thank you to ever. Well, thank you, but also thank you. To the person who suggested Imperfect Women on Apple TV. Has anybody watched it? So good. I watched all 8 episodes between yesterday and the day before. It kept me up very late at night. And I can't stop thinking about it until tomorrow when I won't think about it anymore because it'll be out of my head and I'll even forget what it's about. But if you have not watched Imperfect Women on Apple TV, highly recommend. It's Kerry Washington, Elizabeth Moss, and Kate Mara. And it's really good. And it's I love these series now with like strong female leads. Because women have had historically such a hard time in Hollywood, finding roles, especially for older women. And so now they're all producing all their own stuff. That's why Reese Witherspoon started her own production company, because she just wasn't getting the calls and she wasn't getting the strong women roles. And so now they're making all of their own stuff. Yes, it's really good. It's a murder mystery. It's really good. At first, it started annoying me. And it's like, I'm kind of like, is it over the top? Is it like too much of like Kerry Washington, like tight shot, like pouty? But I love Scandal. And I love her character, Olivia Pope in Scandal. And Kate Mara, I love. And also, but Elizabeth Moss also was very kind of like, she was annoying me in the beginning. And then she kept annoying me throughout. But watch it. Let me know what you think. I didn't see the Testaments last night. Thanks, Goth Boy, for reminding me to keep up with that. Because I forgot it came out last night because I was wrapped up in Imperfect Women. I had to finish it. It's really good. Let me know if you watched it, if you liked it. We like to share our things to watch. And it was one of you who pointed it out to me. I don't know that I ever would have seen it if you guys hadn't pointed it out to me. So thank you for that. Also is in the show is Corey Stoll, who was in Billions, who I love. I didn't really like his character in this show, but it was good. Oh, you're welcome. You like The Pit? Now we sit and wait for season 3. I don't know how long it's going to be, Tina, but I'm glad you liked it. They say it's the most realistic hospital show that there's ever been. But The Imperfect Women had so many twists and turns that I didn't even know which way was up after a while. And I just couldn't stop watching. So you tell me about it. Thank you, Jersey. Thanks, Jersey to Georgia. I appreciate you. Yeah, Scott's going to keep putting this in the chat until somebody. I thought I pinned it. I don't know if it went away. Any mentioning of narcos or weapons in the chat, legal or illegal, prescribed or not, will be deleted, and you may be timed out. That's the way we got to run the channel. YouTube's getting pretty strict with their bots. All right, let's do we do the quote of the day? I don't think so. Today's the 30th. All right, 30th of April. Let's find our motivational quote of the day. Let's see. Nurse Jones says the pit makes me feel like I'm at work. I know all of the nurses, doctors, healthcare workers that I know don't want to watch it because it's too realistic. It must be very stressful to watch. Right? Agreed. All right, here we go. Today, Thursday, April 30th, 2026. And this is a quote from Soren Kierkegaard. Oh, this is perfect because we were just talking about the dangers of social media. The highest and most beautiful things in life are not to be heard about, nor read about, nor seen, but if one will, are to be lived. That's great. Great advice. Live in the moment. Stop worrying about posting things and posting all of this stuff and things. Telling everybody where you are and what you're doing, and just enjoy it. Just be in the moment. That's why I hate going to concerts when everyone's got a phone up recording it. Okay, either you could enjoy the concert and live in the moment, or you're going to have all these videos taking up storage on your phone and like watch them whenever. One more time for those in the back, Soren Kierkegaard. The highest and most beautiful things in life are not to be heard about, nor read about, nor seen, but if one will, are to be lived. Live in the now, right? Right, just like I Live for Now has in his or her handle. There we go. Fuck us, camera. Fuck us. Too many people live in the past. That's why I always say that worry is a wasted emotion, because usually you're 99% of the time you're worrying about stuff that already happened. It's too late. You can't do anything about it. Or you're worrying about things that you're afraid are going to happen in the future that may never happen. Worry is a wasted emotion. I said that. I must have heard it somewhere though. Okay, here we go. The empowerment card of the day. I mean, come on, you guys. Here's your empowerment card. You already have what it takes. You already have what it takes. You do. You already have it. Don't wait. The time is now. You already have what it takes. I know you do. Those are your things to think about. Things to think about anyway for the day. All right. Has anybody read Kelsey Fitzsimmons' stack book? I want to call it Substack. How was it? Going to see Dave Matthews Band in July. So excited. Oh, that's amazing. I have tickets too. I'm going to Cancun again. So for the public on sale today for the Dave and Tim in Cancun, Goose is going to be there also. For those of you who are interested in Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds in Cancun, it's 3 nights on the beach of Dave and Tim. The 4th night is usually an opener. It'll probably be Goose. And awesome. We got lots of other things I've got for you. Some very new gruesome details on the murder of Celeste Rivas by allegedly D4VD David. Some really gruesome details on that. I've got, you made me fall into the rabbit hole of the DoorDash driver from TikTok. So we could talk about that, or we could just fall into rabbit holes in real time. Oh, no phones allowed at Jack White. It says nay, nay. That's a good rule. I kind of like it. Ralb, R-A-L-B says, I take you to work every day, Mel. Ain't a good day if I don't. I'm here. I'm here for you. Oh, look at this. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce your name. You know, you guys can change your usernames back to what they used to be by going onto your YouTube channel page and doing it. Because I'm not sure what this means. UTMFT for life. I use my badass affirmation cards all the time with my clients at work. I have to get these new affirmation cards too. Yeah, just go on. Actually, on my Amazon list, which is in the show notes below, there's a whole bunch of stuff on there, including the new Bruins cap that I got, which I love so much. But there's some affirmation cards on there. And if you go in through there, you can find other ones too. They always come up. Upstage Center said I changed my name. Oh, Zimmy, I'll tell you a funny story about Bob Dylan. And this was like, maybe I had a flip phone. Zimmy says Bob Dylan is without phones also. I get used to it. I maybe had a flip phone at Bob Dylan. This was years ago. It had to be 15 years ago. And I saw Bob Dylan, and I don't remember where it was. I think it was like Nassau Coliseum. Like, that's how long ago it was, when Nassau Coliseum was still in existence. And I didn't really blend very well, did I? I took out my phone and I went to take a picture of Bob Dylan, and I was like near the front, and I almost got tackled by one of his security guards. Literally tackled. No pictures. I don't even think I could take video at that time with a phone. That's how long ago it was. And he's been like that for a long time. And I was thinking, like, he should be happy I want to take his picture. So yeah. Cass, I can't pronounce these usernames. You guys are killing me. Says I saw Bob Dylan recently, and you had to put your phones in one of those privacy bags. Yeah, like a Faraday bag. And you could only unlock it when leaving. I like it. A lot of comedians do that too, because they don't want their material getting out. And so it's good. Hi, Bethany. What next trial will you be covering? I love you all in my heart. It depends on the schedule. Things keep getting pushed. Caleb Flynn is going to get pushed again. They've just asked for more time. So it depends, like day to day, like all of a sudden, we know Law and Crime and Court TV are covering the same trials. There was an interesting trial that started yesterday in Florida. A kid, I don't know if it was a drive-by shooting. Did anybody start watching that? Shot a 15-year-old girl in a robbery gone bad. That's kind of interesting. The one about, there's another one going on that they're covering right now too. The woman who's like the girlfriend of this guy that she was living with, and she 6-year-old boy, she's charged with murdering the 6-year-old boy. His cause of death was blunt force trauma and like too much Xanny. Don't put that in the chat. Revolting. The boyfriend husband, who was a convicted domestic abuser, testified the other day, and his testimony made me so angry that I had to turn it off. And so I don't know. I'm open to suggestions, but the ones where the kids are killed, I don't like. It's too much for me. And the ones that are going to be a month long are too much for me. So, oh, is that Wisconsin? Yeah, it's Wisconsin versus Josie Dykeman. It's a lot. And then you never know. Like, you say you're going to cover something, and then you try and cover it, and the audio is terrible. And then, so it has to be like a game time decision. So Bice says, yeah, I watched the drive-by trial today. Sad, but boring. Looks like Lindsay Clancy's. Well, we're covering Lindsay Clancy because we've been covering it from the beginning. So we're going to see. We never know when the cameras are, who's going to have cameras. Like Aaron Spencer has a pretrial hearing today. but we still don't know if there's going to be cameras in there. Caleb Flynn is going to get pushed. He's asked for an adjournment, unless you've seen a decision on his request for an adjournment. I know that Tanner Horner case is still going, Bethany. Right. Exactly. So sometimes I could start to cover something and then it gets to be too much. So, I mean, the next definite thing that's on the calendar, but again, you're subject to the rules, to what happens in court. Sometimes they get adjourned. There was one trial that just started where they started picking a jury. Then they had to disband that jury. After the jury's picked, they had to start picking again. And so it's hard. Like the Larry Mayette trial, that's probably not going to go ahead either. So I'm going to have to find one that's coming up, and that's going to be like not 6 months long. Julio Fulio, I don't know how long that trial is going to go on for, but too long. Too long for me to stay interested. I mean, Karen Reed was a unicorn, you know, that was one of one. Karen List says, I agree so much. As someone who had to co-parent, thank you for not covering the documents that are personal. Your class act with ethics. Her writing is amazing and so raw. Thank you. Do you have to subscribe to her Substack? Yeah, forget that Courtney Clenny thing. That keeps going on and on and on and on. Everyone thinks it's going to happen, and then it never does. Is it a subscription thing? And if it is, good for her. Thank you, Karen, for your 10 and for always being boots on the ground everywhere. Happy anniversary, Mrs. Bouquet and me, for 2 years. Love my new cupcake. 24 months, you get a new cupcake. It's blue on the bottom, pink on the top, and it has a 2 on it. Thanks, Mrs. Bouquet. And Gigi says, I have 0 social media. My principal from Catholic school tried to friend me on my Facebook. My name was Go to the Office when I was in school. LOL. Thanks, Gigi. Oh, Gigi sent me a picture of her diaper cake. Do you guys want to see it? Remember, she said she was making a diaper cake, and her diaper cake she was still making her diaper cake. Check this out. This is a beautiful diaper cake, Gigi. I mean, maybe you should teach it. Look at this diaper cake that Gigi made. Is it gorgeous or what? I mean, that's what I'm talking about. I've never seen a beautiful diaper cake like this for a baby shower. That is gorgeous, Gigi. Well done. Thanks for your 5 and for sharing that with me. Kathleen, I know. Oh, wait. I'm gonna, if you have not watched Imperfect Women and you want to, close your eyes for a second. I'm going to put the peace sign up when the spoiler is over. Hey, it's me. Thanks for your 10. Says, guilt can't change the past. Worry can't change the future. Right, exactly. All right, if you're going to watch Imperfect Women and you don't want to know what I'm about to say because it's a spoiler in Kathleen's super chat, just mute and I'll put the peace sign up when the spoiler's over because we're going to talk about this for a moment. Thanks, hey, it's me for your 10. All right, ready, set, mute yourself. So Kathleen wants to know, did we think Mary was with Robert at the end of Imperfect Women? Yes. Yes. Will it be renewed for season 2? It was, I started to twitch again. It was, yeah, the birthday party thing. And then he's there and his daughter is there. Cora was there and her kids were there. And that was weird. That's why they're calling it Imperfect Women. Bizarre. That's the vibe that I got too. Karen says that's the vibe she got. Yeah, the way she was like weirdly looking at him. And there was a birthday party. Kaylee's like, yes. Like, is there going to be a season 2? I hated that, Robert. With every fiber of my being, I hated him. There was not one likable thing about that character. I could not find, I don't know why all of those women found him to be in any way, shape, or form somebody that they would ever want to be with long term. Raging alcoholic, violent, short-tempered, man baby. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Right? Did you get it? You think he's hot? let me tell you, he's done a million things. When I looked him up on IMDb, I couldn't believe it, and I'd never seen him in anything before. Let me know, you guys, if you haven't watched it, if you know who this actor is. His name is. I mean, yeah. Did he have a stunning jawline and chiseled features? Yes. Too skinny. And also, his name is Joel Kinnaman. Also, just his vibe was so. Ugh. I didn't like it. But to each his own. He's been in a lot of things. He's been in the TV series For All Mankind, which I've never watched. And other things. In The Killing, Gen X says. All right, come on back. You can come on back now. I don't know if he was in Corey Stoll was in Billions, the one who plays Elizabeth Moss's husband, the professor. He was in Billions, and I loved his character in Billions. Did not like his character in this show. Found that some of these women, I mean, it was a good show despite the fact that there were hardly any likable characters, is what I will say about it, right? No, I'm not. If you want to watch Tyler Robinson, go on over, Robinson, right? J.R. Walker, go on over to Andrea Burkhart. She's covering it extensively. And I cover enough vitriolic stuff on my channel that is the last thing that I need is to cover something political and to have even more trolls than I already have on a daily basis coming in here. So no, I won't be covering that one. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the kind of trolls that would come in here just to torture me all day long? We did a very extensive conversation about Kelsey at the very beginning of the stream for a very long time. We heard that an order dropped yesterday. It's not been public. And so we have nothing to cover on that. But I have said my piece. I've said my piece on Kelsey Fitzsimmons. And I said what I said. You love Kerry Washington? I don't know. I felt like her close-ups were a little much in this show. It was like, oh, very pouty. I loved her in Scandal. Yes, agreed. I started watching it yesterday. I just watched the direct and cross of The Dad. Horrific. Tilly Cat says, Josie Dykeman trial. Very interesting direct and cross yesterday of The Dad. They overcharged first degree and should have charged both with second. Then again, more evidence to come. Maybe we could, I think his testimony was only like an hour, right? Or maybe the piece that I saw was only like an hour. I mean, the allegations in that case are horrific. Horrific. Yeah, somebody says I'm partially here to escape the politics. Well, there was one political thing that I want to cover. And did you see that? I was going to wait a little while for my West Coast friends to wake up. Former reality star Spencer Pratt is running for mayor of Los Angeles. And his campaign ad that he released yesterday has gone viral. It is, he has at least 7 million views on it. So I wanted to take a look at that. I don't consider YouTube to be social media. Wonder Woman Sharon says, stay off social media. Social media is dangerous. Isn't YouTube social media? No, I think there's like a million different topics on YouTube. I find YouTube to be, I don't consider YouTube to be social media. Do you guys consider it to be social media? Robin J sort of loves Spencer. She doesn't know why. Let's talk about that first, shall we? You guys are here. Yeah, the judge did rule that Karen could use the Proctor's phone in her new Lady Di. We covered that the other day. Yes. Judge Doolin said, yes, you may. Mother, may I? Father, may I? Yes, you may. You may use what was found in Proctor's phone in your next lawsuit. Only People say they do think it. I don't think it's social media because it's not self-promotion. I find social media to be more like self-promotion and like connecting with people. I find YouTube to be more, YouTube is television to me. It's television. It is what television used to be, except it's free if you don't want to pay for premium. So it's free entertainment. And I don't consider it to be social media in the same business model as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're connecting, but not every creator interacts with their audience, I think. I think that's the difference, right? And you can pretty much find whatever you want. So I don't really think, to me, it doesn't feel like social media. YouTube is my television, people say. YouTube is my television. Says I live for now. HB Sunrider's coming in like, absolutely, Spencer for mayor. Listen, Spencer Pratt lost everything in the Palisades fire. And remember, we covered the Palisades fires in real time for a couple of shows when it happened. And everyone was donating. Like, we covered it. And Spencer Pratt and his family lost everything. Let me just show you. I'm going to show you his campaign commercial that's gone viral. And you can let me know what you think. And it's getting a ton of reposts. So like when I tell you that he's got 7 million views on his own posting of it, that's not including like retweets and everything else. But he's really calling out the LA leadership and, you know, their failings. And let me pull this over here for you. And all he says in his post, the only thing he says above it is they're not like us. And this was just posted yesterday, 10:30 a.m. It's already got 7.7 million views. Hang on, let's go back to the beginning. Take a look. 7.7 million views in less than 24 hours. There you go.
This is where Mayor Vass lives. You notice something? Or here, where Nithya Raman's $3 million mansion sits. They don't have to live in the mess they've created where you live. This is where I live. They let my home burn down. I know what the consequences of failed leadership are. That's why I'm running for mayor, for my sons and the rest of us Angelinos that want to stop these corrupt politicians from destroying our city. We are going to get the golden age of Los Angeles back. This is where Mayor Vass lives.
And it's on a loop. It's on a loop. Tell me, if you live in LA and you're going to vote for mayor, tell me what you think. I'm interested. Anna Harris says Spencer for mayor. Tara Christine says the latest video, they're not like us, is great. Chi Marie says people in general don't understand how close California is from dropping over the edge. The movie industry is on life support. I know. There's no jobs for actors. They moved a ton of productions out of LA. A lot of things are filming in New Mexico now, tax breaks and other things. A lot of things are filming in Vancouver now. It is not like it used to be. Hey Plan says, I'm proud of Spencer. I don't know how many of you have driven through LA recently or Venice, but the homeless encampments are taking over. Taking over. Chelsea said, Spencer took care of hummingbirds and he lost all of them. He had a hummingbird hat and the hummingbirds would land on his hat and drink out of them every day. Melissa F says, Spencer Pratt is from the reality show Laguna Beach. IDK says, Spencer's parents also lost everything. He has been on point. Listen, there have been other like actors, I mean, Ronald Reagan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, they got elected. Moonage says, oh my God, I love it. Martine from Spain says, Pratt has grown up. Wow, people bashing LA as filth. This is not a day for me to watch. I love LA. I love LA. My heart is in the South Bay. If I could move there, I would move there in a second. But it's not the way it used to be. You can't deny that. If you live there, I love LA. And I think people who love LA want to see it come back around to the way it was. It's like, listen, like Times Square in the 70s was a dump, an absolute, very dangerous dump. You could not walk through Times Square without getting robbed or pulled into a porno. Like it was all like little booths where you could go watch porn films and, drugs and solicitation and it was a very dangerous place. And now Times Square every day is like one of the safest places to be and full of tourism. Right, Scott? Jeff says, I hope he wins. LA desperately needs a change. Lady Laura says, does he really live in that trailer? That's a pretty expensive one. It's an Airstream trailer. Probably somebody donated it to him. I don't know. BC Crumb says it was The Hills. It was the Laguna Beach spinoff. I don't know. I didn't watch any of those shows, so I really don't know. I'll allow it. Says because the leadership there has ruined everything. Amy Nelson, Sundance, says, I live in LA and I will totally vote for Spencer. So yes, there's a lot of things filming in Atlanta as well. But I love LA and nobody can ever convince me not to. Sleisha says encampments are the fault of the government. Years ago, you couldn't just camp out in the streets. Well, you know what they do. At least some people donate like the REI tents so that all the tents are uniform and look the same. Makes it look a little bit nicer. The ones I've seen in Venice were like that. Melissa says I was wrong, though. It was The Hills, a spinoff. See? Please use Google before you type things in the chat because when I pull them up, I'm trusting you. I did hear that White Lotus has replaced Helena Bonham Carter with Laura Dern and that the character, it's not going to be the same character. They've scrapped Helena Bonham Carter's character and Mike White is writing a specific character for Laura Dern. And I love that for her because I love Laura Dern so much. Jordan says, just because the current leadership in LA might not be the best does not make Spencer qualified to be mayor. Have we not learned anything? But some other people agree with you because Vanessa says Spencer's solutions are so common sense and refreshing. He's done a lot of podcasts and stuff and he's talking about it. So if you're interested in it, you can go find that stuff. You can see the interviews that he's recently given. Just thought it was an interesting ad. People are posting it like this is the greatest campaign ad that I've ever seen. Yeah, I think Clint Eastwood was a mayor somewhere, Mama Deb. Oh, Tiff says Spencer was from the Hills. He was BFF with Bruce Jenner's son, Brody, right? Now Caitlyn Jenner. Tons of fun says, I've been commenting on his posts on X since the beginning of this nightmare. The beginning of this nightmare to run for office. I'm so glad he did. Maybe you inspired him. He was very outspoken against Karen Bass when the whole Palisades fires thing went down. Robin says, to clarify, I very much enjoy coverage on Spencer Pratt or Aaron Spencer or meatball going down. I just don't like the politics of red versus blue and the hatred that seems to go with it. I don't even know what political party Spencer Pratt is with. I have no idea. I have no idea. I just found it to be an interesting idea. Clinton was mayor of Carmel, says James Lynch. I love Carmel too. Mm-hmm. Microdust put out a new video. We played the Adam Deitch clip the other day. Yes, we did. We played it the other day. So thank you, Kathleen, for that super chat, which sparked our spoiler stuff on Imperfect Women. Martina says, good morning, May 1st, and I have a painful eye infection. I'm so sorry. I hope you feel better soon. There is a great book by Dale Carnegie about not to worry and live life. Thank you. Thanks for tuning in from New Zealand. Amanda Erickson says, hashtag free Aaron Spencer. I believe that his pretrial hearing is not being televised today, right, Amanda? Thanks for being here for 14 months. Hickey's worst nightmare became... Thanks. Overruled Sit Down says, do you think Lisa Beatty is currently questioning her career choices? Did something new come out about Lisa Beatty? I think anybody who works for the Norfolk District Attorney's Office is probably questioning their career choices because they may all go down together. Remember that song, that Billy Joel song? Do you remember that? He was on Joe Rogan recently, says Mike. I can't play that because Joe Rogan will probably strike me, but if you guys want it, you can probably get out there and find it. Oh, please. Michael Easter's report came out in the new FOIA dump. It was the report that Judge Cannoni did not allow into the second trial. And now that I've read it, I know why the Commonwealth fought so hard to keep it out. Now I know why. Because, well, we know everything that they did was wrong. I haven't gone over it yet. I will. I got to tell you, there are people on the internet, and again, still, John O'Keefe was murdered over 4 years ago. There are still people on Twitter all day long, still fighting about taillight pieces and clothing. I mean, like every single aspect of that trial is still being debated every single day by so many people. It's always the same people. And most days they all have the same talking points. And it's like, yeah, I'm not really a fan of that. I'm like, thanks for pointing it out, but I really don't like what was yeah, I don't need that being, yeah, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say about it. Thanks though. My 18-wheeler friend doesn't Twitter at all, but there are people. Oh yeah, of course. That's how we know that there was reasonable doubt, but they're out there. They're like tweeting about this. Like it is their life. Like they're getting paid to do it. It's just so weird. It's so weird. Oh, Cal, I hope you feel better soon. She's got crutches and surgery on her knee. And hope you feel better soon, Cal. Have you heard about the new details that have come out about David, D4VD? We're going to talk about that in a little while. But first, 2 days ago, and there were a bunch of boots on the ground there. Emily C. went to court. Matthew Farwell was in court. What day was this? This was Tuesday, right? Today's Thursday. It was Tuesday. Matthew Farwell is currently in federal lockup in Rhode Island, awaiting his trial for the murder of Sandra Birchmore and her unborn child. And so there was a hearing on the bail issue on Tuesday. Emily's here. She was there. $59.50. And what is this that I'm reading? The Boston Globe. Boston Globe had an article about it, so I'll just read you portions of it so that you can get an idea of what happened in court. And I'm sure that Emily C. talked about it on her channel, and you can go over there and listen to what she observed in the courtroom. We read all the papers on this, so we know exactly why he was seeking bail. And then we also know what the Commonwealth found and dropped some new knowledge on us in their papers about things that were found in Matthew Farwell's phone and other things that we did not know about this investigation. But with 5 months to go before the scheduled start of the trial of Matthew Farwell for the death of Sandra Birchmore and her unborn child, former Stoughton police detective Matthew Farwell on Tuesday argued for bail. We don't know who the father is. It hasn't been made public, and something else we're not going to speculate about. The hour-long hearing before U.S. Magistrate Judge M. Page Kelly delved into disputes between the prosecution and the defense over scientific evidence and revealed that prior to Birchmore's death, Farwell attended a training on homicide investigations where the state medical examiner discussed signs of suicide and hanging deaths. Federal prosecutor said, well, that's interesting because that was not in the papers, was it? First of all, why I thought Judge Denise Casper was on this case. Why was the magistrate overseeing this? Maybe that's how they do it in federal court in Massachusetts. But prior to Sandra Birchmore's death, which has still been ruled a suicide by the Massachusetts Medical Examiner's Office, Matthew Farwell of the Stoughton PD had attended a training on homicide investigations where the state medical examiner discussed signs of suicide and hanging deaths. So he learned all about it. He did his research. Does that indicate to you that it may have been premeditated? Does him wearing a mask into the building that day when he was very anti-mask, when he was caught on surveillance camera, indicate that it may have been premeditated to you? The magistrate judge said she would rule on Farwell's bail request later. I don't know what that means, later. Farwell, who is currently age 40, who attended the hearing, has been held at a Rhode Island facility since his arrest on August 28th of 2024. Remember that? August 28th of 2024 is like the SWAT team came out and arrested him in public. And that was after Karen Reed's first trial, before Karen Reed's second trial. And it was the FBI that had to press charges on him because the state was never, ever going to bring him and still hasn't. Farwell, who attended the hearing, has been held at a Rhode Island facility since his arrest on August 28th of 2024. And what are we, 12? Are we 12? Chat, really? It's Farwell. I mean, I appreciate the snark and the humor, but again, we're not 12. Are we? Maybe. He initially agreed to be detained, right? Remember, he wasn't fighting getting out of jail in the beginning in 2024, but last month he requested to be freed on $50,000 bail and live with his mother. He's pleaded not guilty. Farwell's defense team cited his job in detention. Guess what he's doing while he's being held? He's cleaning toilets used by corrections officers. And they also pointed out his clean jail disciplinary record during the bail argument. The defense said that Birchmore killed herself, citing the findings by the state office of the chief medical examiner, and accused prosecutors of presenting scientific findings in misleading ways. The government has proof problems with this case, said attorney Joanne Daly, one of Farwell's public defenders. The science is on Mr. Farwell's side, and that's why we're going to trial to prove that he's innocent. Okay. Farwell's trial is set for October. He's accused of strangling a pregnant Birchmore on February 1st, 2021, then staging the scene at her Canton apartment to make it look like a suicide. Federal prosecutors countered the evidence against Farwell has grown stronger since his 2024 arrest. Yes, they've uncovered a lot more. Quote, this defendant raped a child, murdered her when she became an adult, and obstructed justice over and over again, said the U.S. Attorney, Assistant U.S. Attorney Elizabeth C. Riley. He murdered a person because she could have been a witness against him. Yep. Farwell repeatedly engaged in brazen extramarital affairs during his marriage, but he kept his contact with Birchmore secret because he took her virginity when she was 15. A criminal act because she was too young to consent, Riley said. Birchmore and Farwell met when she enrolled as a teenager in a Stoughton police youth program known as Police Explorers. Well, Boston Globe, I think she was younger than 13 when she joined the Police Explorers. Wasn't she like maybe 12? Their meetings during Birchmore's adult years sometimes occurred while Farwell was on the clock for the Stoughton Police Department and thus constituted acts of wire fraud, federal prosecutors allege. Turning to the scientific evidence, federal prosecutors said testing found Farwell's DNA was the major contributor on the duffel bag strap that he used to strangle her, they say, as well as in her underwear. Yes, they found seminal DNA in her underwear, which begs the question, did he go over there for one last booty call before he took her life that exact night? It makes what this man did even, if you didn't think it could get any more heinous, yeah, it got more heinous. We learned all of that in the papers. Daly said that the testing found a complex mixture of at least 4 contributors on the DNA strap, on the strap used for the hanging. On Birchmore's underwear, she said testing detected one spot with 3 contributors and another spot with 4 contributors. What? The prosecution and defense gave differing accounts of Birchmore's mental health history. Daly said Birchmore began receiving psychiatric treatment when she was 9, that she previously tried to take her own life, and had once drafted a note. In college, Birchmore sought help to address her mental health, and on the day of her death, she searched the internet for the ribbon color for suicide awareness, Daly said. Daly is the defense attorney. The U.S. attorney, Riley, countered that Birchmore searched online for the suicide ribbon color to try and determine the cause being supported in a display that she saw. At the time of her death, Birchmore had survived the darkest period in her life, the back-to-back deaths of her mother and her grandmother in 2016, and was thriving, according to Riley. She had completed school, she had full-time work, an apartment, and she was preparing for motherhood by buying baby gear, researching childcare options, and planning a pregnancy announcement and maternity photo shoot, Riley said. Birchmore was constantly using her phone and sending people electronic updates, but she never picked up the device again after Farwell visited her apartment on February 1st of 2021, Riley said. Police found her body 3 days later. In opposing Farwell's bail request, federal prosecutors also disclosed newly obtained evidence showing Farwell's iPhone accessed pornographic videos following Birchmore's death. The phone data suggests that Farwell maintains an sexual interest in teenage girls. That's what they wrote in the papers that we read. I have a whole playlist on Sandra Birchmore if you're interested in diving more deeply into that, if you're not familiar with the case. Sandra Birchmore was murdered almost exactly 1 year before the murder of John O'Keefe. Both in Canton, both involving many of the same investigators. The defense said that the videos are legal adult pornography. We saw the searches. We read them in the papers. I'm not going to repeat them here. DNA testing has excluded Farwell as the father of Birchmore's unborn baby boy. Authorities have not named the father. The next hearing in Farwell's case is set for May 26, when he is expected to argue that some evidence should be tossed. What evidence Farwell is seeking to suppress is not publicly known. That's under seal. I tried to get it. He filed a request along with 14 exhibits under seal. Yeah. Farwell's lawyers wrote the motion relates to sealed search warrants and other materials covered by protective orders, and Chief District Judge Denise Casper granted their request to file it confidentially. So that was Tuesday's court appearance in the Farwell case. Our friend, Mr. Betterow, appeared on News Nation.
No, it's virtually
Yesterday with Jesse Weber. And so let's take a look at what our friend, Mr. Betterow, had to say. Please.
How common is it in Massachusetts for a murder suspect to be granted bail, particularly under these conditions?
No, it's virtually unprecedented, and certainly somebody who's accused of murdering a young woman that he sexually abused and raped when she was younger, killed her unborn child, helped cover up the crime allegedly and frame it as a suicide, deleted evidence in the case. The idea that somebody like that would be granted bail is virtually nil, and you just don't see anywhere murder defendants generally get released. But I can't see a situation here where Farwell's going to get out.
Just to play devil's advocate here for a second. So, he's innocent until proven guilty. Former law enforcement says his defense says he's a good inmate. Is that a weighing factor? Does that get taken into consideration at all?
I mean, being a good inmate, he may very well have lots of pen pals. He may be an expert at cleaning toilets in the prison and the captain of the prison debate team, the jail debate team. Either way, that's not a basis just to let him out. I mean, he's facing life in prison. He was death penalty eligible earlier. Justice Department's not going for that. But if he's convicted, he's facing life in prison, and a court is going to look at whether he's a flight risk. There's a lot of evidence against him. I mean, again, he groomed Sandra. He sexually abused her. Right after he learned that she was pregnant and had made some complaints were made on her behalf, she was dead a day later. He was the last person to see her on video. His DNA is on the strap that was used to kill her. We learned recently in some of the filings related to the bail application that he had attended a course as a police officer about investigating suicides, particularly hangings, which the government alleges he staged in this case. So that weighed against the fact that he's a good boy in jail. I don't think it's very compelling for the defense. Yeah.
And look, these are, yes, you laid out the evidence that is being presented by the prosecution, these allegations. One of the things we've been showing as B-roll there was the surveillance footage, which is a key factor in this case. I did find it really interesting. I mean, the state pointing to this porn search history of teenage girls, it's disturbing.
Come to your screen if you can, because this is a video of Matthew Farwell walking into Sandra Birchmore's apartment building in Canton the night of her murder. And watch how he walks in with a mask on. Okay, here he is. The time on this video, 21:27, Monday.
Pointing to this
Here he
porn
is.
search history of teenage girls.
Trying to avoid the cameras, which he probably knows are there. What's his name? Matthew Farwell, former Stoughton police officer.
It's disturbing to say the least. Is that relevant to say he's a threat to the community?
Yeah, it is. I mean, certainly it dirties him up. It makes him look like just a terrible person. And of course, in the context of this case, he, had improper relations with Sandra when she was underage. And shortly after, he allegedly murders her, he's surfing the web looking for pictures of naked children.
Harvick. Oh, the guy in the news, his name is Jesse Weber. Jesse Weber. He's been around. I like Jesse Weber. I think he was on Long Crime, right? This is interesting too. Well, let's just move on from Sandra Farwell. Sandra Birchmore for a moment. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns on Sandra Birchmore. I don't think that guy should ever see the outside of a jail cell ever. Sorry, not sorry. I have opinions. I'm going to share them. You know that there are law tubers out there who are very on the fence and very neutral. I'm not one of them. I am not one of them. Right. Marion says in the video, you notice he doesn't touch the doors going out with any part of his hands. Mm-hmm. Right. This is the reason that Norfolk needs to elect a new DA. Yeah. Guy's a serial predator, says Forever Exennial. He should never see sunlight again. Yes. Wasn't there conflating my cases now when I say that we read in the court papers that another girl came forward who remembers meeting him in a bar in somewhere nearby in Stoughton or somewhere else, and that she had one drink with him and doesn't remember anything else? Like maybe she was roofied. Hi, Olivia Niles here. She says the mixed DNA will make things slightly more complicated, I imagine. Well, I mean, how many contributors were there to the blood stain on John O'Keefe's jeans? Wasn't there at one point 3 unknown male contributors to the DNA on John O'Keefe's jeans? And they never even tried to figure out who they were? And was it the blood stains on his jeans? Nobody cared enough to find out or to ask anybody else for samples. Could have been 5. Nobody cared enough. We saw Adam Deitch give an interview, or that was at the BC. I think that BC was a debate. And he said he was going to, if he becomes DA, he's going to reopen the investigation into the murder of John O'Keefe. Yeah? Didn't he say that? Because I heard him say that. Here is something. I don't think that that's a good question, Jordan, but I don't think that Matthew Farwell and his brother are identical twins. I don't think they are. Identical twins have the same DNA. Fraternal twins do not. I don't think they're identical. I could be wrong. And so I don't know. I don't know that we will ever find out who the father is. I don't know if it'll ever be made public. If it is and it's confirmed, we'll talk about it, but I'm not here to spread rumors or gossip or speculation. They are not identical twins, so they would not have the same DNA. And this is interesting too, though. For those of you who do not know about Ken Melo catching some charges, Olivia says, yes, Adam Deitch said that, which makes me think the Norfolk DA's office and McCabe's and Alberts are going to ramp up their Greg Connor campaigning efforts. Well, you'll know when you see it. You'll know when you see it, because the talking points of the day differ from day to day. So for those of you who don't know, we covered this the other day. Ken Melo, the special prosecutor of Aiden Carney, who we haven't seen in a very long time. He was taken off one of the cases. I don't know if he's still on one of the cases, working with Cosgrove, not working with Cosgrove. What we do know from the mega motion, though, was that Cosgrove's excuse for not turning over discovery is that he can't get anything from Ken Melo, that he doesn't know how to DocuSign things and stuff like that or something. But what had happened was Ken Melo caught some charges because he was in an ER hospital in Fall River in Bristol County. He was in an ER and I don't know what he was in for, but he asked a nurse to wheel him to his car on a stretcher or a gurney. And the nurse said, no, I can't do that, but don't worry, I'll give you a pillow in your wheelchair. It's only a 5-minute transport. Ken Melo allegedly said, I'm a lawyer, kind of like, don't you know who I am? How about I stab you in the back for 5 minutes, huh? How about that? And he also insulted her and told her she shouldn't even be a nurse. She should be a technician or a custodian or something. And then we heard that he had caught some charges on that and that he was going to be served with a notice to appear. Well, look at what Jess Machado posted yesterday. And then we said we would cover, his arraignment when he goes in. She said the scheduled arraignment of Special Prosecutor Ken Melo on the charge of threat to commit a crime has been canceled. Yeah, the charge nurse was mad, like Dana on the pit. Fall River Reporter originally reported that Melo was facing an arraignment after threatening a hospital worker last month. But since then, the docket was removed from the Mass Court's website. Really? They just took it down. Is it hidden now? Today, I learned that Melo was originally served with a notice to appear at a magistrate hearing for probable cause back on April 16th, and he failed to appear. But he's a lawyer. He should know that he needs to appear. You can't just blow it off. After his no-show, the court defaulted to an arraignment, which was scheduled for June 3rd at 9 a.m. Since the publication of the story, somehow Melo or his attorney has convinced the court to reschedule the original magistrate hearing and his arraignment, and the charges have been removed. I don't think she means like dropped. I think she means like removed from the system. Melo is now scheduled for a new magistrate hearing on June 25th at 10 a.m. This will be a closed to the public hearing. Wow. When Massachusetts doesn't want you to see something, they really don't want you to see something, huh? Closed to the public. Don't you think it's important that that kind of hearing be open to the public when this man has been paid, I don't even know how much money, as a special prosecutor for Norfolk County? Huh. So where's that going to be? I don't know. District Court, magistrate hearing, June 25th, 10 a.m. Closed to the public. Nothing to see here. I will update you as I learn more, she says. That's Jess Machado. Follow her for breaking news of all sorts. She's the one who, I think, originally broke the story on Ken Melo. Can somebody tell me what 24 on 24 means? Can somebody tell me what 24 means? I'm genuinely confused. I don't even know what that means. Can you tell me? That's the name of her morning show. I think it's her morning show, Jess Machado, and I don't know what that means, 24 on 24. 24 minutes in 24 hours? I don't even know what that means. Can somebody tell me? Because I'm confused. I just want to know. Olivia says, can you say corruption? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, I can. We can all say it. Nancy says that all magistrate hearings are closed to the public. "24 minutes on Route 24. Okay. But her shows are longer than 24 minutes. Maybe that's how it started out. 24 minutes on Route 24. Thank you. Oh, 24 is the highway, says Gen X Erica. And 24 was the time she was on it on the way home from the Karen Reid trial. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I love that. It's very clever, but now I know. You're telling me the tea. Mindy says that magistrate hearings are always closed in Massachusetts. Oh, well, don't you know who he is? He's a lawyer, so shouldn't his stuff all be private? No. I think if there's anything that should be public, it's Ken Melo's arraignment for threatening a nurse. Ridiculous. But that's just me. Oh, just to go back to Sandra Birchmore for one moment. You guys sent this to me. This is one of Sandra Birchmore's relatives after the court appearance. Hang on. Here we go.
No, I think she's good.
I'm good. You're feeling good? I'm hanging in there, yeah. It's tough. It's really tough. We've waited a long time for justice. And Sandra and her unborn son certainly do deserve it. So hopefully we will get it soon.
And just hearing those remarks today in court from both the defense and also from the prosecutors, have you heard this before? Is this your first time hearing these details? What's going through your mind?
I read the motions a few times each. For both sides, listening to both sides, they both gave good arguments, but I have full faith in the prosecutors that they're going to do what we want, and we want him to stay behind bars.
How would you and your family feel if he was released, if the judge chose to release him?
Terrible. Terrible. As far as we're concerned, he's a dangerous human being, and the records show that.
And what's your first and last name, just so we address
Barbara
you?
Wright.
Could you spell that for us?
W-R-I-G-H-T.
And what's your relationship to Sandra?
I'm Sandra's cousin. I was actually a cousin of her mother, Denise.
That is Barb.
I used to babysit Denise when she was little.
Have you guys shown up every step of the way? Will you continue to do that?
I will, yes, as long as I can. Absolutely.
Trial's just 5 months away. Are you looking forward to this being over? How are you feeling about it?
Oh, yes. Thank you. You put the words in my mouth. I'm looking forward to justice for them and for this to be over. So we can start the grieving process, because right now we're in limbo.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Will there be justice for Sandra Birchmore? I sure hope so. But where's Norfolk County on this? Why haven't they filed charges against him? They're still doing nothing. Just one of the many things that Adam Deitch should be hammering home. Oops. One of the many things. For those of you who missed it, it's a 40-second clip. Microdots posted this the other day. This is just some of the things that Adam Deitch said at the Boston College Law School debate. Craig Connor didn't show up for this debate. That's what I hear. But here's Adam Deitch. He's all the way on the right-hand side. And a couple of interesting comments. Thank you, Microdots, for clipping and posting this.
Creating a real conviction integrity unit, creating a cold case unit, and ensuring that this district attorney's office is not going to be one where Sandra Birchmore's family is still looking for answers and where Sandra Birchmore is still listed on a death certificate as having committed suicide.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to be a district attorney's office where John O'Keefe's family either doesn't know or hasn't gotten an answer from the DA's office for what happened. Or if the DA's office has utterly failed to provide justice, it needs to revisit that case and figure out what happened and have a dialogue with John.
Needs to revisit that case, the murder of John O'Keefe case. Needs to revisit it. What does that say to you? Hear that again.
If the DA's office has utterly failed to provide justice, it needs to revisit that case and figure out what happened and have a dialogue with John O'Keefe's family about what the facts actually are.
Have a dialogue with John O'Keefe's family about what the facts actually are. Them some strong words. I don't think they'll want to speak to him. But he's willing to do it. Thank you, Microdots. Shout out to you for taking us behind the curtain with your amazing videos. And some long form stuff too. Overruled Sit Down says, if you live in Massachusetts, you should run when it snows. John and Sandra. It was, it was nor'easters during both of those murders. Thanks for your 5. Desiderata says, asking for prayers. My 12-year-old forever best friend, my therapist, my Dutch Shepherd Bella, were off to her CAT scan checking for osteosarcoma. The power of positive thinking brings comfort. I love you with all my heart. 100%. Prayers up. Prayers up for Bella. For Desiderata. Here's Tiny Jesus. Sending you all the prayers. All the prayers. Thanks for your super chat and for tuning in from Canada. And we are sending all of our love and prayers to you right now. Venus Blue Cupcake says the Faust story is on Dateline tomorrow at 9 p.m. I love you big too. I did not know that. Faust, actually. He pronounces it Faust. Edric Faust on Dateline. Ugh, I just don't see how it's going to be pro Edric Faust. I can only guess who they asked to be involved in it. Dateline is on NBC. Thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, I live for now, so it's going to be skewed towards the prosecution. I think so too. In fact, I can pretty much guarantee it. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns before we move on. Well, I mean, just because we're in Massachusetts right now. Just because we're in Massachusetts right now. This dropped yesterday evening. Oh, no, yesterday morning. In Canton, police are investigating after a school bus driver in Canton, Massachusetts was allegedly assaulted by a parent. According to a statement from the school district, the incident happened on Tuesday morning while a school bus near the Prin Hills apartment complex while on a school bus. According to the principal of Hanson Elementary School, Tammy Olson, the assault happened after a discussion between the parent and the bus driver turned physical. Students on the bus did witness the altercation, but none were involved or injured. No, they were just traumatized. Listen to this. One of those students is a second grader who said the fight happened after the bus driver closed the doors without another female student on the bus. The bus driver didn't see her, and then he closed the door and started driving away, but then her dad went up to the bus and started knocking on the door. The student said. Witnesses said the driver opened the door so the girl could get on, but then so did the father. Dateline is NBC. Isn't that what I said? NBC or Peacock? So the father gets on the bus, and then he began yelling and swearing before he repeatedly punched the driver in the face. Students and employees told News Center 5. I was feeling really scared, and I just started looking away because I didn't want to see that, the student said. I think it was a little more harrowing than we all expected. A lot of swears and bad words, the student's mother said. They told me the kids were crying. A different driver took the students to school, while the involved driver received medical care from the Randolph Fire Department. Canton School Resource Officers and administration also rode the C10 bus with the students on their way to Hanson Elementary. Administration would continue to ride the C10 bus through the week as a result of the incident, Olson said. I thought they handled it awesome, a parent said. I was impressed. Counseling was provided for the students who witnessed the altercation. The second grade student who witnessed the incident said she and a school counselor helped make the bus driver a get well card. It had a picture of the bus, and in the middle it says, "Hope you feel better," and then it has a heart, she said. It is unclear if the parent will face any charges in connection with the incident. Are you kidding? It's unclear if the parent will face any charges. In any other town, that father would have been cuffed and taken away. Repeatedly punching the bus driver in the face. Are you kidding me? Apparently there's a video with it, but it's just buffering. And that is according to WCVB, Channel 5. We'll check out the video. I mean, are property values in Canton plummeting? Or are property values in Canton up? I need to know. Here's the video.
Yeah, and Ed, police in 2 towns are investigating this. It happened on the Canton-Randolph line. Now, that mother of the second grader asked that we please protect her identity for safety's sake, but they both told us that this was a traumatic event for both the bus driver and a bus full of young students.
Dispute on a school bus between a parent and a driver.
It happened here on Avalon Drive as the morning C10 bus was picking up students to take them to Hanson Elementary in Canton. This second grader and her mom told us the fight started after the bus driver began leaving without one of the young female students.
The bus driver didn't see her, and then he closed the door and started driving away, but then her dad went up to the bus, started knocking on the door.
Witnesses say the driver opened the door so the girl could get on, but then so did her dad, who they say was yelling and swearing.
But I think it was a little more harrowing than we all expected. A lot of swears and bad words. They told me the kids were crying.
Students and fellow employees told us the bus driver was punched in the face repeatedly.
One of the children stated that juvenile witness, the parent hit the bus driver 45 times.
How many punches do you remember roughly?
Like 5. I was feeling really scared, and I just started looking away because I didn't want to see that.
School officials had a counseling team ready to meet with students individually to provide support and followed up with personal phone calls to families directly involved.
I thought they handled it awesome. Like, I was impressed.
This second grader says the school counselor helped her make the bus driver a get well card.
It had a picture of the bus, and then in the middle it says, "Hope you feel better."
Oh, the little girl told us everything.
Now, the officials
Cutie.
here at the First Student Bus Company tell us that that driver was not seriously hurt. He will recover. Both the Randolph and Canton police are investigating, but no arrests at this time. We're live in Randolph tonight. I'm Mary Saladna, WCVB News Center 5.
So Dave Matthews' neighbor says, oops, that's an old video. Stop. Aaron Whitehead from Fall River is the guy with the bus incident. So I guess his name came out, but he was arrested. Oh, he was arrested today. Hold on. This is how we do it. We actually are going to fall into a rabbit hole in real time. Hold on. There we go. Hang on. He has been arrested, according to NBC 10. I will suffer through another commercial to bring it to you. Man arrested for assaulting Canton school bus driver. Good. Okay, they're doing the work out there. I think that's good. It said it happened in Randolph. Oh, so is Canton the district and is Randolph part of Canton? Hang on. Here we go. We're going to find out more. We fall into the rabbit hole in real time. Here we go. They did arrest him. Good.
Disturbing morning on a school bus left a Canton Elementary School community rattled. Police said a parent allegedly assaulted a bus driver. all while children sat and watched. NBC 10's Mary Marcos has more tonight.
A Canton second grader ran to her mom after seeing something she couldn't explain.
She was scared. Like she also didn't understand what happened.
A father allegedly assaulted the driver of a bus full of children at the Avalon complex Tuesday, police and school officials confirmed.
Dispute on a school bus between a parent and a driver. Apparently the parent is assaulting the driver.
Randolph police have since filed an arrest warrant in Quincy District Court with charges including assault and battery on a person over 60 with disabilities, destruction of property, and disorderly conduct. The Hanson Elementary principal says the children are okay physically, but they saw the violence.
In the fight behind the kids, it's scary for them, of course.
In a letter to families, school administrators saying, quote, "We commend our students for responding so well in a very difficult and disturbing situation."
Really, that was even we are also worried about that, why he has done and what is the reason.
Counselors met with students one-on-one after another driver with First Student Bus Service took over the route for the day.
Apparently it's a male parent who's got no weapons, but he struck and injured the driver. And the bus is full of kids.
This all happened on the Canton-Randolph line, so police in both towns are working together on the investigation, but Randolph is taking the lead.
Oh, good. Randolph is taking the lead. Don't let Canton PD take the lead. We know what happens when that happens. So apparently it's on the town line, but it's the Canton Public School District.
And school leaders are riding that bus all week to make sure students feel safe.
Hopefully, nothing like this will happen again. And we appreciate our school and everybody who's helping.
We reached out to every single member of the Canton School Committee and the Select Board. None of them gave us a comment, but the bus company did say that the driver has minor injuries. Reporting in Randolph, Mary Marcos, NBC 10 Boston.
Wacky. Well, was he arrested though? Let me just see. I'm going to read the rest of this article. Hang on one second. That was the video. Give me a moment. 31-year-old Aaron Jamal Whitehead was arrested Wednesday evening in Stoughton. Okay, so he was arrested. He's due in Quincy District Court Thursday morning on charges of assault and battery on a person over the age of 60. So he was due in court this morning. Wasn't immediately clear. So he was charged with assault and battery on a person over 60, witness intimidation, malicious destruction of property, and disorderly conduct. I wonder how the witness intimidation charges came about. So that was pretty quick. The assault happened Tuesday morning around a little before 8:30 a.m. And by the next day evening, he was already arrested in custody. Oh, police say it appears that the incident began when Whitehead stopped his vehicle in front of the school bus while it was picking up students in Canton and attempted to have his child board at a location that was not their assigned stop. The driver, citing company policy, told Whitehead that his child could not get on the bus at their unscheduled stop, causing Whitehead to allegedly become angry. I mean, I saw that we have some bus drivers in the chat or people who have driven a school bus before. You can't just let any kid on at any stop. That's a big liability issue. Right. How about you just drive your kids to school? How about that? Whitehead reportedly followed the bus to its next stop at Avalon Drive in Randolph, where he allegedly boarded the bus after it opened its doors for students and confronted the driver. The argument turned physical when Whitehead began striking the driver multiple times, according to police. After assaulting the driver in front of several young children who were on the bus at the time, Whitehead allegedly took the man's cell phone and threw it before leaving the scene. Maybe that's where the witness intimidation charge came in. Bus driver was treated by paramedics at the scene and then taken to a local hospital. Randolph Police Chief Anthony Marag said in a statement, "School bus drivers perform an important job every day transporting children safely to and from school, and this type of violence will not be tolerated. We wish the driver a full and speedy recovery, and I want to thank the Canton Police Department and the Stoughton Police Department for their assistance during this investigation and arrest. The Randolph Police Department is leading the investigation, which remains ongoing. Entitled people. Yeah. I know. The bus driver does the Lord's work. I could never be a school bus driver. All those kids yelling and screaming. Never. I've been on field trips before where I had to go on a school bus when my kids were little, and it was like torture. It was torture. Karen says, Melanie, are you going to see Dave in New Hampshire this summer? I did last summer. Usually it's a game time decision for me. She says, I'll be at night 2, and my brother and I are freaking. That Goose is playing with him in Cancun. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. The public on sale for Cancun went on sale today. If you're interested in it, you should go check it out. Just Google Dave and Tim Mexico, and it'll come up for you. Awesome, Karen Goldberg. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know. Apparently he has a car, right? He has a car because he blocked the bus with it. And the dad sang the lovely flight, and the dad, little cupcake's dad blaming the bus driver for his own failure. Yeah. Jesus. I'll allow it. Sai says, if you're already in the car, take her yourself. How about maybe he was late for work, but you're going to be a lot more late for work when you get on the bus, beat down the bus driver, and then find yourself in handcuffs. So there's that. Scott says, probably arraigned in Stoughton District Court this morning. I guess we'll find out more about that later. And in other news, yesterday, according to the Boston Herald, you thought Proctor was bad. You thought Proctor's problems, proctology, affected a lot of criminal cases. Well, Scott Quigley is a police officer, and Scott Quigley's arrest is now affecting more than 140 cases. What's that you say? Yeah, let's read it. Defendants on more than 140 cases were notified of the probe into Sergeant Scott Quigley. Remember, this is a guy who's being represented by David Yanetti's office. That is one of his associates, the female attorney. Information about the officer's case is under protective order. So Quigley's case is under protective order. Let's read the article from the Boston Herald. The Middlesex County District Attorney's Office has notified defendants in 142 cases about the investigation into State Police Sergeant Scott Quigley. Quigley, who was once embedded in the office as a homicide investigator, was indicted last month on a motor vehicle homicide charge. He's accused of drunkenly crashing his cruiser into a wheelchair van in Woburn in 2024, leading to the death of Special Olympian Angelo Schettino. Right, but no Proctor probe. Somebody said, well, he's been probed. He's been fired and dishonorably discharged. William Dolan, who represents Chana Fan on a murder case Quigley investigated, argued in court Tuesday that he wants the records he's received about the officer to be public. Currently, the information is sealed by the court under a protective order, but of course it is. That's what the MSP does. Dolan called the order, which also include the same information on Quigley sent to lawyers in 142 other cases, a very dangerous precedent. I don't think it's fair, Dolan said, in light of the fact that certain information that is protected by the order has been alluded to by the judge in the Fan case and by Middlesex in a report they published on their handling of the Quigley case. Thank you, Scott. Quigley once worked in the Middlesex DA's office, MSP Detective Group. Yes, we have learned through our coverage of Karen Reed that certain troopers of the Massachusetts State Police are assigned to certain county DA's offices, which is a big problem, in my opinion, because they become embedded with each other. The judge in the fan case, Judge Christopher Barry Smith on Tuesday referenced criminal investigations into other state police officers who were involved in the handling of Quigley's crash. Catching himself, Barry Smith said he thought he'd read that information in the news, then backtracked saying it had been in some discovery that's protected. Oops. The judge slipped. One of them, I think, is Jennifer Penton, right? Who has been charged in the death of Enrique Delgado Garcia. I should be careful, the judge added. Oops. There was no mention in court of who the officers are. Quote, we have charged Quigley and the related incident remains under investigation. A Suffolk County District Attorney's Office spokesperson told the Herald Quigley is being protected by the office because of the conflict of interest with Middlesex. We're not commenting further at this point. The Commonwealth argued that protective orders like this are common, but did ask the judge for clarification on what was under the order, what was impounded, and what was public. The allegations against Quigley first came into public view during the first-degree murder trial of brothers Chana Biloiam, Billy Fan, who are accused of killing Tyrone Fett in Lowell in 2020. The Middlesex DA's office disclosed the allegations to the Fan's defense attorney in the middle of jury impanelment in February. The DA's office found out about Quigley's alleged blood alcohol at the time of the crash via a wrongful death suit filed by Scatino's family. Thank you, Gene. David Yannetti is representing more than one police officer. I know the other one that you're talking about. His name is Nicholas. And his last name is escaping me right now, but attorney in David Yannetti's office is actually representing Quigley. We watched a press conference the other day. He was standing in the background. The disclosure paused the trial to allow for Suffolk criminal investigation, the Middlesex independent review, and both outside and internal investigations at the state police to take place. On Tuesday, Barry Smith asked the defense whether they'd like to schedule a trial date as more information has come out, including Quigley's indictment and the Middlesex report, but the attorneys said they'd rather wait. Billy Fan's lawyer, Mark Wester, noted outstanding discovery from Quigley's grand jury indictment, and Dolan said that he'd likely file some motions to suppress or at least reconsider evidence because of the alleged misconduct. Nick O'Malley, thank you very much. The alleged misconduct by Quigley. Also on the table were motions to compel discovery from Teresa Ristorante, where Quigley was allegedly drinking before the fatal crash, and to dismiss the case altogether. Judge Barry Smith seemed disinclined to order information from Teresa's, warning that presenting receipts or other material from that order could cause a trial within a trial. Well, they did it to Karen Reed. Maybe they could get some surveillance video from Teresa's Ristorante, huh? Lorenzo Perez, representing Bilomian Fan, called the material in the report filtered and said, we can trust the government, but we don't here, pointing to the defense attorneys. We want to check them, he added. The judge allowed Perez to file a supplement to his previous motion on the issue, asking him to cite some case law. On the motion for dismissal based on prosecutorial misconduct, Dolan said he'd like to wait for the judge to make a decision until all the discovery is in. Barry Smith asked whether the fact that there has been a continuance in the trial to allow for further investigation was enough remedy. It's exceedingly rare to dismiss a case like this, he said. The prosecution, for its part, said the case should not be dismissed. Well, of course. The parties will be back in court on June 2nd for a status conference, but could be back sooner to discuss issues of discovery. And this is Judge Chris Barry Smith. And Olivia wants to know, why the heck did it take a freaking civil suit to produce evidence of his blood alcohol content? Isn't that the police's job? Well, it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. That's a great question. How is the chicken parm at Teresa's Ristorante? Michael wants to know. I'd like to know too. So it's just more of a mess in the Massachusetts State Police. But really, what do you expect at this point, right? One of the videos that we were just watching has been taken down. And I don't know which one it was. It just all of a sudden says video unavailable. The video has been removed by the uploader. I don't know if it was the Kelsey Fitzsimmons one. Okay. I had some other videos queued up for you, but then they just got lost. Next up. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns before we move on to. Well, we were gonna do David, but I don't know what happened to my playlist. So you got to be patient with me for a second while I find it. Oh, please. Let's do the TikTok girl real quick. TikTok DoorDash driver. So what had happened was this girl, Olivia Henderson, somewhere near Syracuse, New York, was a DoorDash driver, and she was delivering to this man at his house. And when she got there, most DoorDash drivers, they drop it at your front door. She got there, the door was open, and she actually went in the front door, and apparently he was had his pants around his ankles, and he might have been passed out naked. And then she took video of it and posted it on TikTok. And then now she is facing charges. I think, didn't she also accuse him of essaying her? Hold on, because I got to go back and do a little bit of a deeper dive. But it looks like she was just in court the other day again. She finally got indicted. Let's take a look. And she's facing 2 felony charges. In Oswego, New York. A DoorDash driver in Oswego is facing felony charges after police say she recorded a nude customer inside of his house. You guys told me this was everywhere. I can't believe I haven't seen it. And shared the video on TikTok. According to the Oswego Police Department, the incident happened on October 12th when 23-year-old Olivia Henderson of Oswego delivered food to a man's residence. Investigators say the man was incapacitated and unconscious on his couch due to alcohol consumption, and the video was taken from outside of his home. Police say Henderson later posted the video online, where it quickly gained widespread attention. When you put something out there, there's no taking it back typically, explained Oswego City Police Captain Brian Thompson. When you're making social media posts, take an extra second to think about what you're putting into the world. During the investigation, Henderson claimed she had been sexually assaulted by the customer. However, police say their investigation determined no SA occurred. Oh. So she made false allegations against him too. And that the man fully cooperated with officers. Olivia Henderson is charged with unlawful surveillance in the second degree. That's an E felony. And dissemination of an unlawful surveillance image in the first degree, which is an E felony. She was processed and released with an appearance ticket. She was due back in Oswego court December 4th. This is an older article. DoorDash referred the I-team to a statement they made on TikTok on October 16th. Says Henderson's Dasher account is deactivated along with the customers. So they both got kicked off of DoorDash. That would be my worst nightmare. I love DoorDash so much. The statement said in part, posting a video of a customer in their home and disclosing their personal details publicly is a clear violation of our policies. Police said they're continuing to investigate and are working with the Oswego County District Attorney's Office regarding prosecution. Well, here's the TikTok statement. Let's see this. From DoorDash. And this was posted back in October. Here it is. And this was posted by DoorDash. Good for them. We've seen some tough and sensitive posts over the past few days, and we want to clear the air. No one should ever have to experience SA, harassment, or abuse, and DoorDash never deactivates someone for reporting it. Full stop. We take these reports incredibly seriously and work closely with law enforcement to investigate and support those affected. In this case, the Dasher let us know about an experience that made them feel unsafe, and that's exactly what we always want Dashers to do. Our team immediately began investigating and has been in direct contact with law enforcement and is prepared to fully support any of their efforts. However, posting a video of a customer in their home and disclosing their personal details publicly is a clear violation of our policies. That is the sole reaction that this Dasher's account was deactivated, along with the customers, while we investigated. We've also ensured that the Dasher has full access to their earnings. Well, it seems that Olivia Henderson did appear in court on Monday. Let's take a listen.
To the courtroom in Oswego County now, where a DoorDash driver accused of filming a naked customer in a video that went viral, set to appear in court again tomorrow morning. 23-year-old Olivia Henderson charged with disseminating unlawful surveillance. The incident in question happened in October while Henderson was making a delivery in January. The court deciding that her trial will go to the grand jury.
Download the WSYR Plus app on your TV to
All
stream.
right, thanks. I'm so glad I could promote you, WSYR. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I haven't. I haven't heard about it. Karen Griswold says, I don't think she went in, but his front door was wide open. Dave Matthews' neighbor says, just be aware of what you're doing before you order food, knowing someone's coming to your house. That too. Fantastic. This is the video of her screaming, I am the victim, is unhinged. Kim A says, I can't believe she didn't understand why the video was deleted repeatedly by TikTok for terms of service violations. What an idiot. Diane Gallagher says, Oswego, that's up near Cooperstown Baseball Park. Absolutely beautiful area in upstate New York. And she was shocked when DoorDash deactivated. Right. Why would you go in the house? Why would you go in the house? Exactly. Why? That's a great question. Excellent question. So we'll follow that if you guys are interested in following that. But Bethany, will you be covering the Jenna Struble cases? Trial would be in Joliet, 10 minutes from here. I can be boots on the ground, charged with 9 counts of murder after her ex-boyfriend and his parents. When is it? Is it going to be televised? I haven't heard of it, so I can't give you an answer today. But I'm going to write it down and put it on my list. But if it's not going to be televised, then we can't. Thank you, Bethany, for volunteering and for your 10. Bruce Wayne says, where was the therapist for the children traumatized by Tully's gang of demonic cops who strategically waited to assault Aiden in front of that bus? Yeah. That's a good question. Thanks for your 5. I stand with Mel says, if Kelsey or Justin are watching, please take some advice from someone who went through a contentious divorce. Don't make short-term decisions with long-term consequences just so you can say you won. Thank you for your 10. Hellfish Haven became a member. Welcome. Leah, thank you much for your very generous Venmo. Says she just won a motion to dismiss and was awarded attorney fees against my horrible ex-husband. Thank you very much, Leah. And I'm happy for you. Very happy for you. Congratulations. Oh. She said, I could not have done this without all I've learned from you. Oh, you're amazing, Leah. I'm so glad you're getting something from this channel. Thank you so very much for your very generous 50 through Venmo. I love to hear that. Betsy, thank you so very much for all that you do. XOXO. I appreciate you and your Venmo. Thank you, Hellfish Haven, for your 10. I don't play other YouTubers' coverage without specific permission. So thank you very much. I will check it out, but I wouldn't play it without somebody taking, getting permission from someone specifically to play their content. All right, we're going to move on to David now because it's gruesome and it's horrific. And rest in peace, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, because what David, D4VD, allegedly did to her is going to blow your mind. I'm going to give you a trigger warning right now. We've covered a lot of this story. There's more. There's more. Because of course there's more. We looked at the house the other day. It's still for rent, or it is newly for rent at almost the low, low price of $24,000 per month. We looked at the pictures of the house and the Zillow listing in the Hollywood Hills on Doheny. It's a gorgeous house, but now we know that it is a murder house. Trigger warning, blanket trigger warning for everything that I'm about to tell you. I'm going to try and say it as nicely as I can, but there's really no nice way to say this. I'm going to read to you an article written by my friend who is a reporter with the California Post, and he does amazing, amazing, amazing work. And this is just another example of his amazing work. Hold on one second. Let me close some of these tabs because it's getting pretty drafty in here. All right, hang on one sec. Okay. And let's just put up, why don't we put up a picture of Celeste while we're talking about this? Because really, it's all about the victim. Rest in peace, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, 14 years old. And she was allegedly murdered by D4VD, also known as David. He pronounces it David. It's pronounced David. Thank you, Jeremy, for this article out of the California Post. Disturbing new details have emerged of the horrifying way David groomed and eventually mutilated Celeste Rivas at the age of 14 with a chainsaw. According to prosecutors, the singer, real name David Burke, ordered an Uber to deliver Rivas from her family home in Lake Elsinore to his Hollywood Hills home on the night of April 23rd, 2025, according to legal documents obtained by the California Post. He then stabbed her and stood by while she bled to death, prosecutors claim. And it gets worse. David allegedly ordered a shovel from Home Depot the following day and had it delivered to his home by Postmates. About a week later, he ordered 2 chainsaws from Amazon that were delivered to his home. And on May 5th, he allegedly ordered a body bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool, according to the documents. This is all right, look, innocent until proven guilty and all, but this just may be the dumbest criminal in the world. Come on, man, is right. We thought Brian Walsh was stupid with his Google searches and all. We've seen some dumb criminals. But he had all of this stuff delivered to his house. He sent an Uber for her to Lake Elsinore on April 23rd, 2025. We were trying to figure out how they knew the exact date of her death. Hold, please. What did he do with their body between the 23rd and the more than a week later when he got the chainsaws in the body bag on May 5th? I don't know. Somebody said here he did it the same way his favorite anime character did it. That's what Venus Blue Cupcake says. Oh, Scott, I gotta find your comment again because I didn't star it. That's right. Don't tell me this town ain't got no heart. You just got to poke around. Somebody said, I saw somebody go in the chat, what is a shakedown street? Because I have a sign behind me. It's a Grateful Dead reference. And by the way, for those of you who are interested, somebody posted yesterday on YouTube an amazing video from Philly 1989 Blow Away that they've enhanced the video. It's a 1989 video that looks like it was taken on 4K. It's amazing. And I love Brent so much. Look for it. If I could find out who the creator is, I will tell you. Because it was an amazing upgrade of the audio and video on that. It already has 209,000 views. That's amazing. It's titled Grateful Dead Blow Away 7789. It was the last to ever be performed at Philly's JFK Stadium. Last rock and roll show. I have to respond to one of my kids, so give me 1 second. I'm just going to show you like a still shot of this video so that you can find it if you like to partake in all things Grateful Dead. In case you want to look for it. Will I just go off for a second and respond to one of my children? Hold, please. It's awesome. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I'm back. All right, look how crisp the video is. I mean, it's amazing. And you know what's also amazing to me about this video from 1989? Is that the fashion for Grateful Dead shows has not changed one iota since then. Hold on, let's get a nice shot of Jerry. There he is. Plain tiger. And then, of course, Brent. And then I want to show you Bobby. Bob Weir, rest in peace. But this was the Bobby of 1989. I mean, come on, man. Come on, man. The tank top, the shorts, the ponytail, all of it. All of it. Come on, man. I love it. Those are the days. Those are the days. There's Tiger. His guitar just sold for something crazy. Something crazy. I don't know the exact amount. It's Mickey Hart back in the day. If you know, you know. If you know, you know. That was a fun summer tour, 1989. All right. Back to the issue at hand. Yeah, those were the days, eh? All right. As I was saying, David. I didn't know you could order a body bag from Amazon, did you? A cadaver bag, did you know that? Don't Google it or even look at it in your Amazon account because it will become part of your search history. So he orders her an Uber from her Lake Elsinore home. Remember, she had been reported in 2024 by her family, but I guess she came home. They called her a runaway. I don't know if she was in and out of her home. And so they had reported her missing, and we looked at a missing poster of her in 2024, but then she must have returned home because he sent her an Uber to her family home to deliver her. And the way they put it here is perfect. To deliver Rivas from her family home in Lake Elsinore to the Hollywood Hills on the night of April 23rd, 2025. This is all in the papers, which I don't have, but I'm reading my friend's story, so I know he did his due diligence. He then stabbed her and stood by while she bled to death, they claim. Then the next day, he orders a shovel from Home Depot, had it delivered to his home by Postmates. And a week later, he got 2 chainsaws off of Amazon that were delivered to his home. And on May 5th, he allegedly ordered a cadaver bag, heavy-duty laundry bags, and a blue inflatable pool, according to the documents. He allegedly made the purchases under a fake name. So he tried to cover his tracks. The fake name was Victoria Mendez. From there, investigators say Burke, that's his real name, David Anthony Burke, took horrifying measures to destroy and discard the victim's body. Burke allegedly placed her body into the blue inflatable pool to prevent the blood from making a mess on his garage floor, and used the chainsaw and possibly other tools to cut off her limbs, according to the documents. Who else was there? Wasn't this sort of like an entourage type situation? Didn't he have like friends and hangers on, like living with him at all times? He was always surrounded by other people. There's no way that he had no help. And there's no way, in my opinion, that someone else didn't know about this. And I think that there must be witnesses who were probably offered immunity. Investigators allegedly found plastic fragments embedded in Rivas's remains that matched those found in the pool purchased by him on Amazon. Burke, okay, this is going to get worse. Scott, can you put a warning again so I can pin it on here? Please, one of word, Brittany, or a little cupcake. Somebody give me like a warning. Friends were there and his management was in town that week. Yeah, I think Neo, his friend Neo, was not very cooperative. And that is why he was finally arrested. But Jenny Lynn said to go through the evil steps he did and to conceal his horrid act. And then he leaves her in his car. I'm going to think that somebody didn't finish their end of the deal. In my opinion, this is so dang awful. Thanks, Jenny Lynn. Thanks, Michael. I'll use this for now. Burke also amputated Rivas's left ring and pinky fingers, because her ring finger bore a tattoo of his name. And those fingers were never recovered, according to the documents. Investigators served a search warrant at Burke's home in September of 2025, where they allegedly discovered evidence consistent with the dismemberment of the victim's body in the inflatable pool, which contained multiple linear cuts. Several biological samples, which tested positive for blood, were collected within the garage area. His name is David, D4VD. He was a singer who went viral on TikTok, and that's how he started his career. Originally, he wanted to be a professional video game player, and it's going to get worse. One of his most famous songs is called Romantic Homicide, and the girl who stars in the video of Romantic Homicide looks eerily like Celeste Rivas. So the biological samples also apparently matched Celeste's DNA. Oh, that's a nice warning. Thank you, D. Johns. 1965. I'll take it. Apparently, David and Celeste got into a lengthy argument over text message the night before the alleged murder because she was jealous about David's relationships with other women, according to the documents. She became extremely upset and threatened to disclose damning information about her relationship with defendant to end his career and destroy his life, said investigators. There are also sickening details about how Celeste and David allegedly met when she was only 11 years old in January of 2022. He also wrote the theme song or the anthem for the video game Fortnite. Investigators say the two began a sexual relationship in November of 2023 when Celeste was 13 and David was 18. Celeste was allegedly reported missing by her family in February of 2024, long before her alleged murder. And detectives discovered a phone number in her phone, belonging to David, according to the documents. When detectives called David, he stated he was unaware she was a minor or that she had been reported missing. So that was back in 2024. Celeste's family took her phone away once she was located safe, but David allegedly continued to pursue her. Despite having been informed she was a minor, according to the court documents. Burke even allegedly drove to Lake Elsinore, where Celeste lived, and paid a student in her class $1,000 to give Celeste a phone that David had purchased so they could continue to communicate. Text messages allegedly obtained by detectives suggest the two continued to have a sexual relationship, according to investigators. There's no words for this. David was in court Wednesday, which was yesterday, for a procedural hearing where his attorney said she was concerned about the alleged evidence becoming public. Last week, it was revealed that a significant amount of CSAM, or what they used to call kitty corn, I have to say here, allegedly was found on David's iPhone in a search of the device. Investigators claimed to have gathered 40 terabytes of data. Through a lengthy investigation, they also revealed that they'd conducted a wiretap. Nice. Hang on 1 second. Let's see. How much is 40 terabytes? I want to know. It's a massive amount of storage. This is all it's telling me. How much stuff? Okay. How much stuff is 40 terabytes? 40 terabytes is equal to 10 million photos on a smartphone camera, or 20,000 hours of HD video. That is roughly 2.3 years of nonstop footage. 1,600 Blu-ray movies, assuming an average of 25 gigabytes per movie. And the Library of Congress. What? The Library of Congress, the printed collection, historically was roughly 10 terabytes to 20 terabytes, so you could fit two of them in 40 terabytes. That's a lot of information. That's according to Gemini. Okay, I misspelled it. I wrote, how many pages is it? And it said, in a standard printed Bible, the Old Testament. No, that's not how many pages. This is the dangers of AI, see? What? The conservative average of how many pages that would be is 13.3 billion pages. That's a lot. Are they punking me? Well, I mean, this article says that it's 40 terabytes of data and a wiretap. Celeste died from multiple penetrating injuries, according to the LA County Coroner's Office. Celeste's body was discovered September 8th, 2025 in the trunk of a Tesla belonging to David. Took investigators several months to determine the cause and manner of death, and they didn't reach their conclusion until December 8th of 2025. Connie Lewis says, so why don't you have the documents? I've seen them out there. I guess that is a going thing with you. No effort on your part to get the papers. Hey, Connie Lewis, I guess you're new here. This is something that we're just covering today. And thank you so much for coming to play. Enjoy your trip to Block Island, and we won't miss you. Bye-bye. There is nothing that I do on this channel more than actually read papers. Some days we take an actual break from watching papers, from reading papers. That's what we do. Sometimes we take a break. Hang on. Let's see what Connie has said on this channel before. Oh, I'm sorry, Connie, because when I covered the Ruth Miller case, you said, sorry, I live in Ohio. This was devastating. As a mother who has lost a child, I refuse to have sympathy for this woman, no matter if she has mental issues. I'm really sorry that you lost a child, Connie. But really, you're going to come on my channel and call me lazy? No effort on my part? I would cover the documents in a different show. These are the kind of people that live on the internet. Hurt people hurt people. I'm really sorry for your loss, but you're gone. No, she's not a troll. She's commented on the channel before, somewhat respectfully. Nobody does more work than I do when it comes to reading documents, okay? Footnotes and all. Took me how many hours to get through Aiden Carney's papers with footnotes and all? Burke was charged with first-degree murder with special circumstances. The special circumstances included lying in wait, murder of a witness to an investigation, and murder for financial gain. He was also charged with lewd and lascivious sexual acts with an individual under 14 years old and mutilating the human remains of a body. Oh, and the other thing is, if I put these papers up on the stream, on the screen, this video would be taken down by YouTube. So tell me you don't know the rules without telling me you don't know the rules. The special circumstances of murder to investigation were because Rivas was a witness in the lewd and lascivious investigation. Officials say the murder from financial gain circumstance was added because they believe Burke thought allegations of sexual relations with a minor could derail his music career. That's apparently what she was threatening him with. Exclusive video obtained by the California Post shows the moment Burke was hauled away in cuffs from his Hollywood mansion, flanked by officers. So take a look at this picture. Burke is being held in the infamous Twin Towers jail in Los Angeles, downtown, DTLA, the same place where Nick Reiner, who's accused of killing his Hollywood mogul parents, Rob and Michelle, is housed. He also had a hearing today in the same building. Rivas's parents broke their silence on the alleged crime in a statement issued by their attorney, Patrick Steinfeld. And here's what they said. The Rivas Hernandez family is absolutely devastated by the findings contained in the medical examiner's report involving the horrible and gruesome death of their beloved daughter, it said. Burke's preliminary hearing is scheduled to start Friday. He's pleaded not guilty to all charges. Will it be televised? I don't know. I'll find out. So that means tomorrow. Because David was not indicted by a grand jury, it was by criminal complaint. they must, within a certain period of time, hold a preliminary hearing in which they lay bare all of their evidence. And so this is why we're getting a preliminary hearing, or he is getting a preliminary hearing. But I do not know if it will be televised. I can't remember if they took the cameras out of the courtroom on this. Thank you, J2's love. You reading all the papers is exactly why I come to your channel. Keep on being you. Thank you. I read, I don't know how many hours worth of papers this week between Kelsey and then the talking for all the hours while we were waiting for the hearing. It's not tomorrow anymore, says I Love Sarcasm. They asked for an extension to May. Good. They're going to need it. They're going to need it. No crying on the yacht. That's right. No crying on the yacht, says I'm a cupcake. Gen X Jen says new rabbit hole, missing or unalive scientists. I don't know what that means, but like UFO type stuff. Yeah, that's not my jam. Thanks, Rattlesnake, for your super sticker and for tuning in from Canada. I'm gonna root for the Canadians too. I've decided. Pilo's mom, thanks for your super sticker. Martina says, heartbreaking and evil, the Celeste case. No one works as hard as you do, Melanie. Thank you. Thank you very much for noticing. Thanks for tuning in from New Zealand. They have not announced whether, Gumby, damn it, they will be going for the death penalty yet. But they do have the death penalty in California, even though it's been shelved for a long time. Sort of like paused. It's been like paused. So he could be eligible, but we don't know yet. Dave Matthews' neighbor says, no, there's real scientists that are going missing. I haven't heard about that yet. So I think that I'm going to have to look into it. And say Dave from Canada loves Montreal. All right, moving on from the disgustingly horrific story of David and Celeste. One more thing that many of you brought to my attention. And I don't know if you've heard about this story. This is coming to us from Lexington, North Carolina. It is in Davidson County. And I don't know a lot about it yet, but what I do know about it is outraging me. Okay? Hold on for just 1 second. Her name is Malia Allen. And she's a young girl who's facing charges for killing her abusive father. Oh, interesting. When I searched her up on YouTube 3 years ago, there was a missing alert. For Malia Allen. Oh, man. Hold on. We're going to do some real-time rabbit holing. And then I'm going to jump for today because I have an appointment. Hold, please. All right, here we go. Jumping in. Thank you to everyone who sent this to me. Daughter charged in father's premeditated murder, Davidson County Sheriff's Office says. Davidson County, North Carolina. A Lexington woman is facing a murder charge following a stabbing that occurred last Friday, according to the Davidson County Sheriff's Office. Deputies initially responded around 7:20 a.m. on April 17th to Whispering Oaks Drive in Lexington after reports of a stabbing. When they arrived, they found 20-year-old Malia Allen suffering from multiple stab wounds. She was taken to a hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. As part of the investigation, deputies conducted a welfare check at the home on Bryant Road in Lexington. There, they discovered 44-year-old Michael Allen dead inside the residence. He was identified as Malia Allen's father and the homeowner. An autopsy later determined that Michael Allen died from sharp force trauma and his death was ruled a homicide. Investigators say evidence indicates the killing was premeditated. On April 21, after being released from the hospital, Malia Allen was taken into custody and charged with first-degree murder. She's being held without bond at the Davidson County Detention Center. But wait, because there's more to the story. Here's her picture. She's 20. And from what I've read and the investigation, the shallow dive that I have done, it seems that she may have killed her abuser. So I'll wait for more information to come out. But if what I believe is true, we have Dexter for that. In the corner, we put Dexter because sometimes the oldest defense in the book is people need killing. Some people need killing. All right. Let me go back to let's go here first. So this is, I literally just found this right this very second. This was from 3 years ago. And it appears to be a missing alert for the same girl. Missing alert, Malia Allen. Look how she spells her name. Maleigha Allen. At the time she was 16, she was missing June 9th of 2022 from Burlington, North Carolina. Last seen June 9th, 2022. Anyone having information should call the Burlington Police Department. And then it lists the number for the NCMEC, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Oh, please. Let's take a look and see what the news was reporting about this. That's how we do the real-time rabbit holing, my friends. 6 days ago.
Started right. Simmons said that the investigation started right here on Whispering Oaks Road, where deputies responded to a.
This is from a couple days ago. Local news. I like to go to local news. Fox 8. This is Fox 8 News because local news is very invested in these kind of stories that are close to their homes.
And in this case, there were two crime scenes. The first being the home where the woman and her father lived. Fox 8 Celeste Smith, she joins us now from that neighborhood with more on this. And Celeste, what are investigators saying about how this all unfolded?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Well, Sheriff Richie Simmons said that the investigation started right here on Whispering Oaks Road, where deputies responded to a call of a woman with multiple stab wounds, and that woman was 20-year-old Malia Allen.
Our deputies arrived on the scene and found Malia Allen, age 20, at near an address here on Whispering Oaks Drive.
Okay. Compare that picture of her to the picture that we just looked at from her missing poster from 2022. She's a shell of her former self. Lady Lord says, how much you want to bet she couldn't get help or the police to do anything to him?
At near an address here on Whispering Oaks Drive. We had EMS respond to her. We knew her address to be 556 Bryant Road, and she said that this occurred there.
Canton County Sheriff's deputies' response on April 17th led to a welfare check at Malia Allen's home just down the road on Bryant Road.
We responded to this location to do a welfare check and sweep the house. While we were sweeping the house to make sure no one else was wounded, we located Michael Allen, 44. He was deceased. He was identified as the homeowner and the father of Malia Allen.
It quickly became a homicide investigation. Investigators say Michael Allen died from sharp force trauma. Investigators say evidence shows the killing was premeditated. Malia Allen was taken to the hospital for treatment. She was released from the hospital Monday and was charged with first-degree murder. Sheriff Simmons says she and her father were the only two living at the home.
This was an isolated incident, so there's no other threats to our community, and we knew that day.
Once again, Malia Allen and her father, the victim, Michael Allen, both had stab wounds. And when we asked whether those injuries came from the same or different weapons, the sheriff said that those details are not yet being released yet. But right now, Malia Allen is currently being held without any bond, and her next court date is May 12th. Live in Davidson County, Celeste Smith, Fox 8 News.
Horrific. Horrific, right?
Simmons.
Hold on. Let's see what else.
What you got in your hand, bro?
There's not a lot. There's not a lot of stories on this.
The death penalty still.
Simmons said that the investigation started.
So we will follow this if you guys are interested in it. I believe that he had been arrested before, right? From what you guys are telling me. Maybe against her. He had been arrested for abusing her, and she ran away, and then they returned her to the home. Allegedly. So we will see, but I've got thoughts on it initially. How about you? Anybody local from the area? Let me know what you think. This is in North Carolina. Davidson County, North Carolina. And so a lot of you sent it to me. So there's a lot of you who are following this. Well, thank you, Nanette, for your Venmo. I appreciate you so much. She said, Melanie. She said, Melanie, you provide the most thorough and compassionate coverage of the cases that have sparked outrage in so many of us. Thanks for your hard work. Enjoy your afternoon. Thank you so very much. Don't forget, the Edric Foss case is going to be on Dateline tomorrow at 9 p.m., but by all accounts, I do not think it is going to be in favor of Edric Foss. Is Chris Melton going to be on there? Somebody said, I thought. Thank you very much. Teresa says, Teresa, I didn't know that, says, thanks for all your hard work. I love you with all my heart. Thank you so very much. And you guys are sending me lots and lots and things and stuff. I did see the new papers on Aaron Spencer. Don't have time to cover those today right now. But the state has filed an opposition to the pretrial motions filed by Aaron Spencer's attorney that we went over the other day. So there's that. All right. We need to wrap because I need to go do some things this afternoon, and I'll be talking to you guys later. Thank you, Sarah, for your Venmo. I appreciate you so very much, and congratulations on your daughter's wedding. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns before we wrap. Sarah Queen Bo is here. Bo is here. Bo was boots on the ground at the Brian Camp trial. That was awesome. She wants to keep covering. Thank you so much. Hit the like button on your way out. Make sure you have your notifications set because YouTube's not giving them really so much anymore. So you have to make sure they're set. Sometimes you have to actually check the channel just to see. If I don't tell you like right now what time I'm going live tomorrow, you won't know. All right, stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. Let's give Kelsey Fitzsimmons some privacy because she's asked for it. And I love you with all my heart. If I don't see you soon, I'm going to die. But I'm going to see you later. Tomorrow. Hype the stream, like it, comment respectfully. Everything helps the algorithm. YouTube is trying to push you away from long-form content. I hope I was able to at least provide a little break for you at work today for those of you that enjoy it. And for those of you who don't, thanks for the view. I hope you smash the like button on the way out, girl who I had to say goodbye to. Good night, everyone. Or good night. It's only the afternoon. Peace. Let's go, Bruins. You think they're going to win tonight? What do you think? Do you think they're going to win tonight? Oh, it's tomorrow. They're not playing until tomorrow night, actually. But let's hope they do. All right. Scott's rooting for the Knicks. Peace out. I'll see you soon.